thanks for coming in today for our webinar, Stock Index Trading Room Indicator-Driven Signals That Work. And thanks for taking the time to come in and be part of our journey today. I'd like to introduce Steve and just kind of to set off the presentation. And it was, I don't remember now, Steve, but you know, it was about 5 years ago, probably, well, not even 5 years, maybe about 3.5 years ago or so. Steve joined our trading room, and in a short time, it became clear he was no ordinary person for learning what we did. And Steve took the bull by the horns and took off with it, and has since just advanced incredibly as a user of the techniques that we've developed over, well, actually ongoing, it's coming up on 30 years now I've been doing this, and these particular set of tools began about 7 years ago or so. But Steve has some methods and techniques that he's going to show you today using these tools and these patterns, and I think you're really, really going to enjoy it. So without any further delay, Steve, I'll just hand it over to you and take it and go.
Rob, thank you. Thank you very much. We would be amiss in our in doing all that would be proper and fair not to say thanks, Rob, for lots of things. One, for beautiful tools to work with, but for all the support and the guidance and looking over our shoulder. And if you're a guest to our work, this is your first time looking, Rob's a World Cup trading champion, and at one time the largest Emini trader in the world. In a 30-year successful career, we're very fortunate to have him looking over our shoulder, providing us with tools and answering questions and things like that. So Rob, we're very, very grateful for all you've done and will continue to do to help everybody in the room reach their goals. I want to thank our guests today. We're glad you're here. The way this works is I'm going to talk for a few minutes, and then I'm going to read to you. Normally I'll read about 5 or 10 minutes and then show you some charts and we're done. We're going to break it up a little bit today. I actually had started this, the idea to do this was to, we were going to focus on one of our indicators that is brilliant. And as I kept preparing information for this session, kept seeing other things, and I went, I don't want to leave that out, and I don't want to leave that out. So we're going to give you a broad overview of what we do in a stock index trading room, the tools that we use, and how we approach our trading. I can't teach you. This is not designed to teach you how to trade our technique. If you come to the room, you'll have plenty of opportunity to do that. If not, it would be a little premature for that to happen. So with that being said, let's get on with it. If you've not read this, you should. At some point, it's a government disclaimer. It'll help you. It'll help you be successful. So I'm gonna leave that to you. We're not gonna read that to you. Here I am in beautiful St. Thomas 3 or so years ago, having a grand old time on actually on a business trip, haha. And I've done something in this presentation that I normally don't do. Here's a little bit about me. I'm a golf professional. Pretty much all my adult life in some form or the other, I've been involved in the golf business. And I played for a while, not very well. I didn't scare anybody with my prowess playing golf for a living. And I was fortunate enough at a very young age to meet some people that had tremendous insight and knowledge into the golf swing. And I did develop a passion for learning all about the golf swing. And after a few years of getting beat up on the golf course by people that were immensely better than I was, and I could not live long enough to catch them. I decided to go into the club route. I've done golf course startups and leasing and ownership and a lot of things. I was elected to the PGA, and that's the club membership, in 1986. And I'll put a couple of things here that I was the only member of my election class to finish in the top 5% in both of the business schools. That's what we did each year. We would study for a year, go for a week-long class, and then we'd have a 300 question standardized test. The failure rate was about 35%, only about 65% passed. The two distinctions they had was the number one score, which I didn't get either year, and a top 5%. I was the only one. There were 203 one year and 197 the next year, and I was the only one out of those people to finish in the top 5%. Now, that's not important on its own. I hold a Master's of Teacher certification from the Golf Institute. That's Homer Kelly's program. Mr. Kelly is no longer alive, but you can Google him. He's pretty impressive. And I'm a licensed sports psychologist. Now, I say that to say this. I work hard to be good at what I do. So this is about me. Here's the thing. Here's the reason we put that in there. Most people would understand this. A few people wouldn't. But if you're gonna listen to somebody for 30 or 40 minutes about your trading career, don't you want to know a little bit about them? It would be fairly presumptuous to accept everybody's word and information based on what they tell you without you knowing anything about them. And that's one of the major problems in trading industry, is there are a lot of ears. So it's important to know who you get your information from, and that's why we do this. So we're going to talk about our indicators. And we're going to briefly cover four. We have more, but we're briefly going to cover the main four that we use. Now, this is not going to take as long as it looks like it should. We're going to talk about 2 minutes about each one, look at a chart or two about each one. We're going to wrap it up, and then we're going to be through. So we do have a collection of winning indicators developed by World Cup trading champion Rob Mitchell. I think that would be important that people would want to know, is this stuff any good? Yeah, the largest Emini trader in the world. And all of these are included in the Indicator Smart Trading program. As we're going to go through these, we're going to talk about Smart Trap Trader Oscillator, Smart Price Band, Smart Momentum, and Smart Super Trend, in that order. Oh, I just read When You Know the Why, the How's Easy. Remind me before I get through. I got 2 things to wrap up. Remind me. Okay. All markets thrive on trapping unsuspected traders on the wrong side of order flow pressure, future movement. It's invaluable to have a tool that identifies the likely area of this occurrence on an ongoing basis. Trap Trader Oscillator is coded to identify likely areas where there's an abundance of new orders on the incorrect side of order flow pressure, which directs future price movement. And then when the market reverses against these new weak positions, there is often strong and fast acceleration against these weak hands. Of course, we take positions in favor of this trapping, and it often propels our trades in a direction we would want them to go. We capitalize on this throughout the day, each day. We have 3 different signals given by Trap Trader Oscillator. We have a signal we lovingly call the Batman. We have a signal that we call Trap Trader Oscillator, or TTO Trap. Now, the market traps or structure traps. We're not going to talk about that. That's very subjective. We have a specific trade setup and signal that we can measure, we can qualify. And I can tell you for the past year, if you'd have taken all of those, how well you would have done with that. I can't tell you the future, but I can tell you what's happened in the past with that. If you can't objectively measure what you're doing, it's hard to tell when we start to struggle what's going on and what we need to do to improve. And then trap trader oscillator TTOX, or in extreme, it's better. We have several different factors that would get a win percent from 60% up into the mid 80s with that signal. So let's look at what trap trader oscillator would look like. Now, this is today, and you know, if you traded today, it was like, that's really spent all day going nowhere fast. And even after the minutes came out, it really didn't do a whole lot. Now, I apologize. I am connected, and I'm not going to stop to disconnect, so I'll just hide it. So here we are. Anyway, trap trader oscillator is this, smart trap trader oscillator is this indicator that has all these goofy looking dots all over the place. And let me look at my chat. We'll try to answer all your questions that are pertinent to the discussion at the end of the session. And we will. Someone asked, what are your win percentage of win ratios? Yeah, of course we'll cover that. So right off the bat this morning at 9:35, we have this signal with trap trader oscillator. We call this signal out of bounds, and what that denotes is that trap trader oscillator is in an extreme position, and smart momentum, we're going to cover that in a minute, is also in an extreme position. Out of bounds, and we had this room to grow is a smart super trend, and we'll get to that in a minute. This is our bread and butter. It's trap trader oscillator, smart momentum driven, our bread and butter signal. This signal is a 92% win percentage for 1 bar. I'll go over that in a second. 88% for 2 bars. Above 75% for 5 bars, and we use a 15 tick stop on this entry. So what we have here, and again, I'm not going to teach you how to trade this. That's not the idea. Here is a market that is stretched to an extreme, and we get a reversal bar that fits all the definitions. And we have noticed this trade goes for 5 points over 75% of the time. Each reversal bar is 8 ticks or 2 points. Continuation bar is 1 point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our first trade right off the bat got us 5 points. Okay, 77 or so percent to get 5 points. Here's out of bounds with room to grow. We come down and it messes around and does some stuff. Never threatened the boundary of the entry, came back into the entry, but then got way more than 5 points. That took all morning. Okay, we look at that and we go, wow, that's great. And then you look at a timestamp. And if you were trading, it just didn't do anything. But it's a signal. It's out of bounds with room to grow, 5 points. Out of bounds with room to grow, it only went 3 points. Okay. So this one did not reach the 5 point threshold. This is not out of bounds, and I pointed this. It is a trap trader oscillator signal. It's just called a weak Batman. I don't want to cover this for you. We get a lot of these, and they're very, very powerful. Trap trader oscillator measures order flow. And so here we have price represented as being fairly represented with the reversal down, reversal up, reversal down. But trap trader oscillator is over the extreme line in one case and substantially halfway through the panel in the other. So that's telling us there's extreme selling pressure increase in this side of the structure. Or in other words, this bar has tremendous more selling pressure than this bar. Well, thank you, 5 points, I'll take them, thank you very much. Actually more, 7 points, more than that. So that's what we call a weak Batman. Now this is just another signal we use, non-cycling. And again, I'm not going to teach you all of that, but what do we have? We have a green reversal bar, one continuation, red reversal bar, one continuation. It's a micro double bottom, and trap trader oscillator is saying there is so much more buying pressure here than here. It's unfair. Okay, so we take that signal and go as long as you want to go. So those would have been the trap trader oscillator signals that were generated in the room today. Out of bounds, out of bounds, out of bounds, weak Batman, out of bounds, 4 out of bounds. All of those started, you'll notice, all of those started in our favor. No losers here. That one didn't do much. This was right after the announcement. This one went down 1. And I've got a few more. We'll take just a second. Oh, I know, I want to show you this. We're going to get to this in a minute. This is, again, one of our non-cycling weak Batmans. Price here, type 1 divergence on the downside. Here we have local support. We'll talk about that in a minute. Here we don't have local support, and down we go. I think I've got this marked on that chart. But here's a weak Batman, right? You can see that, red, green, red. It's tremendous selling pressure on the right side. Thank you. We'll take those 5, 10, 8 points. Here's one we didn't get marked for a reason. Here's a weak Batman. That didn't go very far, 4 or 5, 6 points. Here's out of bounds. Have this big open zone space here. We'll get to that in a minute, and away we go. So that's for trap trader oscillator. That's the power. You'll notice that, yeah, when it's down here, the market seems to rally. When it's up here, it seems to sell off. When it's down here, it seems to rally. When it's up here, it seems to sell off. Okay, if it's selling off and we get up here, that's a nice place to take a short. That's a nice place to take a short. Oh, now that didn't work so well, so maybe we're getting a trend change. But we have a lot of our members that just simply track from extreme to extreme, working both sides of the structure, doing this all day long, having a blast. Okay, so that would be trap trader oscillator. Let me get back here. The second indicator that we use is called smart price band, and when I show it to you, you'll say, oh, that's just a colored EMA, and nothing could be further from the truth. Without boring you with a lot of details, don't dismiss the tremendous advantage we gain by using smart price band. We have 2 signals that were generated from it, and then we have actually trend cycling confirmation, continuations, and reversals. And let's look and see what this looks like. So our smart price band is simply this red and blue cyan line moving average that works throughout the market. Our signals are really simple. Signals are very, very simple with our smart price band. The first one is simply if we have a red smart price band, you'll notice what? The market goes down, okay? So we're in a downtrend. Our members know that this is trend continuation confirmation right here, that the downtrend is going to continue. Well, here we have a very unusual situation where we're going to put 2 of our indicators together and take our win rate from 65 to 85. because we're doubling up on our likelihood of percentage of win, actually 84. And what we have here is that we have a red smart price band, but we also have trap trader oscillator in an overvalued area. That almost never happens. Normally, when the price moves up enough to get overvalued, our smart price band is cyan. So it very seldom matches trap trader oscillator, but when it does, you can see the power that it has. We call this a combo trade, and it's a room favorite. This one also had this open zone, and we're going to go through last, that that tells us that we have 78% for 5 or more points, which we like. We like 5-point trades in the room. Okay, so that's the first signal. It's called a combo trade, and it's simply any reversal bar off the line, could be above it, could be in the middle, could just touch it, where trap trader oscillator is agreeing not only are we in a downtrend, but we're overvalued. We get a discount for entering the market here. There are too many people trapped. Even in this little move here, there are too many people that got excited about being long, and wham, they get punished. Now, the second signal that we have, thanks, Rob. The second signal we have is, I explain it this way, and I'm just going to keep explaining it this way. And if you get lost on the simplicity of this, I'm sorry. It's maybe the most powerful signal that we have for just churning out winner after winner after winner. And it's basically this. I have a red reversal bar above a red smart price band. So here's the situation. I'm in a downtrend. Structure's broken. Everything that I have to read is telling me I'm in a downtrend. And price moves back and then reverses, but it can't turn my smart price band blue. Well, uh-oh. Now, a lot of times we'll get this in the middle of the panel, or we'll get it, it's a continuation. And the moves on this are not as large as the moves from trap trader oscillator, but they're highly, highly likely to go in our favor. Here's the simple way to look at that. If you look at any colored EMA, you will find red bars live below it. You get a red bar above it, we're out of balance in the market. If it does nothing, it craves balance. Blue line, green bars. Green bars are above a blue line. When I get, see if I have one. I thought I had one. I think I have one over here. I know I have one today. When I get a green bar below a blue smart price band, out of balance. Green bars are supposed to be up here, they're down here, and away they go. This is a combo trade. It's not all the way above our line, but what do we have? We have trap trader oscillator in agreement that this is going down, and there it goes. This is a red bar above a red line. I can promise you, just so you can save your comments. Maybe. No, don't do that to us. These are live charts. And it's going to stick on me. We'll give it a minute. We'll give it a second. Yeah, there we go. Maybe not. So red bar above a red smart price band. Here's a combo trade winner. Here's this winner. Here's this winner. Winner, winner, winner. On and on and on. Here's a green bar below a blue smart price band. That was nice. We had one of those here. It only went up 3 points. And that was the only smart price band signal that we had today. But you can see the power just in that one little read right here. This was a combo trade. And away we go. So that's the way we use Smart Price Band to generate signals from. Real simple, real basic, you know, price is out of place, it's going to go back to harmony. And it does that over and over and over throughout the trading day. So Smart Momentum is our next world-class indicator. And if there were a key to the kingdom, in my opinion, when it comes to concept and trading, momentum would probably be what we were looking for. Direction and strength in the market, duration of market cycles is a distinct advantage. And Rob has coded a tool called Smart Momentum to give us this advantage in the market. It gives insight into both the size and strength of cycling in current market conditions. How about that? I'll show you that in a second. It identifies, confirms logical, historically proven winning entries into the market. It can even identify trend reversals. How about that? And then we have some type 1 divergence opportunities. We're going to talk about two types of divergence with Smart Momentum, but we have a couple of signals that are room favorites that we use type 1 divergence. So here is Smart Momentum, and it's this wavy line as it meanders through this panel to help us read exactly what's going on with price. The bread and butter #1 use of Smart Momentum is called a type 2 divergence. Rob coded it for a type 2 divergence. And here's the way that works. Market is cycling, and I get a reversal point here. And Smart Momentum is lower than a previous reversal point. So I'm in an uptrend, structure-wise, and Smart Momentum is reading, yeah, drive it deeper, continue up. So here's what we're doing. We're just now starting this, to be honest, in the room. It's just brilliant. We're excited. We're matching, and we're doing more than just the out of bounds. This is out of bounds. Here's out of bounds, up. Here's out of bounds, up. Here's out of bounds, here and here, down. Okay, here's out of bounds. Yeah, not so much there, not so much there. Here's out of bounds, down. Okay, so all of these just basic signals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 7 winners right here with Smart Momentum Trap Trader Oscillator. Again, I'm not trying to teach you how to use this. So don't say, oh, whoa, wait, I don't get it. If you come join us, you will. But what we have here is a situation to where Trap Trader Oscillator is giving us a clear entry, and Smart Momentum is saying, yes, your cycling is not only going up, it's growing. As our Smart Momentum dots get closer together, market action stalls. As they expand, price starts moving. So the larger these are apart and the deeper or the higher these get driven, the larger the moves accompanying them would be. So when we can get a situation to where we get Smart Momentum saying this is all hands on deck buy, and Trap Trader Oscillator is saying, yeah, there are too many people short and we're going to punish them, and we get this situation, there we go. There we go. We have this situation, type 2, and away we go. I'm going to cover type 1 that we use in a room briefly. And that simply is this. We call this a non-cycling weak Batman. And what that is that we simply have a local double top, red, one continuation, green, one continuation, red, one continuation. But Trap Trader Oscillator and Smart Momentum are both reading, yeah, you know, this is going down and you can see the effect that it has. We call it a universal signal. This is a beautiful signal. I don't know that there is such a thing, but anyway, it's really it's a room favorite. It's easy to spot. It's very effective. It has a very high win percentage. So if we get over here and we look at the markets going up, smart momentum comes down here. It's giving us an entry. We're getting a trap trader oscillator entry here, and away we go. Now, if you are a trader that thrives on having excellent signals, you know, a lot of this stuff in here won't interest you. You should be incredibly excited about this, maybe about this, certainly about out of bounds, certainly about this. You know, you can look just at this chart and we can see lots and lots of beautiful situations to where we have a large advantage. Now let's talk about trend change right quick. Oh, Rob, did you jump? No, thank you, Rob. Okay, trend change with smart momentum. It's also with trap trader oscillator. So here we're obviously in a downtrend, down, 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 down. Smart momentum here, boom. Trap trader oscillator here, boom. On and on and on. You never get tired of looking at them when you start to take advantage of them. Okay, so here we have a beautiful type 2 divergence that's out of bounds. This is a brilliant signal to go down. Well, it's got nothing on it, okay? When this fails, this type 2 fails with price structure, trends changed. And I'll let you be the judge and to see if identifying a trend change 30 points from the top would have been a nice situation to be involved in. Would you have liked to have been able to start to trade the long side until we get a type 2 divergence on smart momentum failure? And now what would that signal? That would signal a trend change, okay? So here's a brilliant method of staying on the correct side of the market. Here, thank you, here, thank you, here, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Down, 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 down. 7 winning entries. Trend change. Oh, let's go the other way. Okay. This was this morning. This was yesterday and today. I'm almost sure. Yep, this was today. Okay. So that's the way we use smart momentum, both on its own and in connection with our other trap trader oscillator, to find type 2 divergence that are out of bounds are just spectacular trading opportunities. It's a brilliant, brilliant tool coded by Rob. It's as I'm standing here, I'm sorry. I want you to anticipate the overall beauty of what Rob's given us to work with. So that's smart momentum. Let me go ahead and we'll get that out of the way. And then we have smart super trend. Every trader has their own favorite idea or concept when it comes to trading, and the stock index trading room is not a me too room. Hang on a second, team. Thank you. It's not a me too room. What does that mean? We're not trading my ideas and my concepts. We're not trading what I think. We have people that scalp and do it great. We have people that swing trade to give one trade a day and hold it all day long and do it great. And what we know is the tools Rob's given us, whatever your concept of trading is, you can find things that will help you be successful. when applied consistently. But everybody has their favorite idea. I love trap trader oscillator, and more in the ES than any other market. And then Rob started working, or actually a long time ago, started working with Smart Super Trend and sent me some information about 4 months ago, I think it was, and changed my life forever. Absolutely changed my life forever. I have no problem saying that. Rob, when you sent me that, hey, Steve, look at this. Tell me what you think. Work on it and tell me what you think in a couple of days. You changed my life, sir. And I'm grateful in my children's life and their children's life, and I'm forever grateful. So when I talk about SST or Smart Super Trend and I get a little excited, please just understand we're having an absolute blast trading it. Okay, so sometimes I'm humble, in my opinion, this is the best. I saved the best for last, and it's Smart Super Trend. And we use it to find pockets of extremely local open zones where price will likely move freely and quickly. And we have several ways to use it. We have entries that have proven 78% win rate, that average winning size is more than 2 times the average loss. We can forecast upcoming monster moves, a leading indication of what is to come. We have scalping entries that are good for over 80% winners, and I'm going to show you those quickly. And what Smart Super Trend is are these red and cyan dashed lines distributed throughout the market, throughout the chart, price action. And at first they look to sort of be in a way and very random. And we have 2 entries, and I just quickly, and I think I may have missed something, but I think quickly I got all of the possible SST entries for today. We didn't have any that didn't go in our favor, I don't think, unless I missed something. We didn't have any that didn't go partially in our favor, which then that's always fun for every entry that you make for the market to go in your direction, and you can manage winning trades. So what is it? What the indication is and what the entry is that we have and for the sake of our discussion, we're going to confine it to a trap trader oscillator and or room to grow, out of bounds, which is trap trader oscillator, and smart momentum, out of bounds. And we have, from the reversal bar that would be the entry, we have 5 or more ticks before we get to the first SST. And one of the things you can see is here, we've got a lot of resistance in the way. We have support in the way. Support, resistance, the market just sort of beats itself up trying to get through it. Then all of a sudden we come down here, we have a distinct advantage to buy the market here, we get a discount, and we have this room to grow. This was the first arrow that we put on our chart this morning. We like 5 points for this. It went up 5 points in a tick and reversed. So that was our first trade of the day, and we talked about 5 points. This goes 5 points a lot before it reverses. Our second entry is simply a reversal line that breaks through an SST print, okay? Now, I marked this one, but it doesn't qualify, so I'm going to take it away. I wanted to show you the entry. Why? Because trap trader oscillator is not giving us, there's one right beside it. Trap trader oscillator was not giving us an entry. Here it's giving us an entry. So that one went A bar, 92% to go A bar, 88% to go 2 bars, which it did not do in this case. Okay. So here we have, this is a weak Batman, but look at all of this room here, and that tells us upcoming big move. Look at this huge space here. So if we're trading, we do this in a room. We're 10 ticks of space. That's just so unusual. The market doesn't have any resistance in this. Here we have it again. So up we go, up, up, up. Here's an SST line break, qualified entry. SST line break that turns into a Batman that heads down from an extreme out of bounds position. So this is a bread and butter signal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. So we get our 5, we're very happy. This one came out at 2:02 right after the minutes came out. It went down a bar and didn't work. I didn't catch this one. I marked that one in the room. That one went up 3. And in here we can see we have an out of bounds with a huge, huge, huge room to grow. The only regret, people say, do you have regrets? Yeah, if I'd known the the SST trade was going to catch on like it has, it's very, very popular, and you can see why. I would have come up with a better name than room to grow. But anyway, we're going to live with it. But so here we have out of bounds, room to grow, qualified in every way, and it turns into one of our universal trades, a non-cycling Batman that we love, and you can see it's still going up. This signal is still going up. So that's it for our is Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell still is here. Thank you, Smart Super Trend. Other trading time. We're not a one-trick pony team. We're about 5 minutes from being through, maybe 7. I often make this statement: we're not a one-trick pony. You know, we have a lot of tools to work with. We have scalpers, we have swing traders, we have people that like the idea of having a 75+% historic win rate for 5 points, and just try to get 2 or 3 of those a day, and lots of applications for what we have. Here's what Rob taught me in the beginning. The industry, in my opinion, doesn't think the average trader will ever learn how to think. Ever learn how. Will ever learn how to think on their own. And the reason is when you look at their offerings or you go to their presentations, you know, it's like, you have to do this, do this, do this. It has to be this way. And Rob teaches from the beginning, there are a lot of ways to skin the cat. If your thinking is conducive to winning, then you're gonna be fine. If you're considering all things at once, or if it's necessary for somebody to guide you, not in the learning process, that's what we do every day, but in the trading process. You know, I never wanted somebody to tell me, Steve, punch your button here and hold it here and get out there and things. I never wanted that. Rob and I both think, and we agree, that everybody can learn how to become as good a trader as you want to be, and everybody has to trade to what they believe. Some people believe scalping is the only way to go, and they'll never trade any other way, and that's awesome. And some people, we talk about a 2 and 3 point 80% historic rate for 84% for 2 or more points, and people go, why do you only take 2 points? So our job is not to tell you, you have to do this. We're not a one-trick pony. We've got a lot of different concepts to trade, and we want you to take the best of the best that Rob has to offer and fit it to your belief and become wildly successful in your trading pursuit. We've got a couple of things that we do every day: opening range violation, The first 30 minutes sort of set the tone for the day. And when that 30-minute top or bottom, high or low gets violated, we have direction and distance confidence about 80%. And sometimes those targets are 25 or 30 points away. We do that in a room all the time. Initial balance period is the first hour of trading. The extensions beyond that, we have great indications with an over 80% confidence level that if those are going to be hit, sometimes they're 3 or 4 points. Today was pretty small. Sometimes they're 15 points. But normally they're 7 or 8 points from IBP to IBP 1.5. And we trade that aggressively. So, and other things that, you know, we're not going to go through. We don't have time to go through. So, benefits of trading room. Here's what I want to say. You can read through this. You can learn things about the market here that I've got someone that's become a good friend of mine that was in a trading industry, 35 or 40 years ago. Knows some of the icons of trading. And we've talked about some things in the room that he said, I had no idea. Been following the markets for 40 years and I had no idea this was the case. And it's our Friday morning. We have a Friday morning secret. That's where he's laughing right now. He's laughing out loud. And but he's been around the markets for 50 years, 40 years, and had never heard that. And so we know things with Rob's benefit. And I'm a hard worker. I research and study. We're going to teach things that you can't learn anywhere else. We want you to be independent, and we want you to be in control of the results of your life. When you take responsibility for your actions, your life becomes magic. We want you to know, KNOW, the truth about trading. When you do, you'll be free. We talk about that regularly in the room. We have some training videos about that. Personal growth development, any market you want. This works in any market. Price action patterns, trap trader, oscillator, world class. Trends, we traded trends and range expansion. All of these things are important. Let me tell you what I think is the most important thing about Stock Index Trading Room. We've got 30 years of experience from one of the most successful traders in America, the largest Emini trader in the world, a World Cup trading champion. We have over 100 teaching blogs and posts from Rob Mitchell. We have 3 years plus of members' experience that we've added, that we have spent many hundreds of hours producing teaching videos. That's part of the deal. So the real gold in the trading room is not the trading room. The real gold in the trading room is the knowledge and information that's available to the people that are ready to work and to become master traders. And I'll be honest with you, it's overwhelming, the information that we have, and we'll guide you to the areas that you want. But we have so much information that you can turn into knowledge and turn into the truth that you will be unstoppable. Will be unstoppable. So, median range target hit to the tick. Okay, I'm done. Rob, if you're still here, I'm going to turn this back to you.
Well, you're going to give it back to me, Steve. Hey,
Yep.
Steve, that was a great presentation. I love coming to these things because Steve and I don't get to talk as much as I'd like, and our rooms overlap in time, and you know, we just don't get the time. But like, it's really cool to see you showing these patterns. I mean, I would be in the stock index trading room if I could manage to be in 2 places at the same time, because what happens in the trading rooms is technologies get developed. Yeah, technologies get developed, and stats, and you get, you know, you get 50 or 100 guys looking at patterns over and over again, there's going to be some questions and things like that. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh my goodness, we've been looking at this thing. You know, this is an amazing thing about trading. You've been looking at a chart for 20 years, and then one day you see a pattern in there that's, you know, been there in front of your face the whole time, but you never saw it. You know, so all reality is like this. It just kind of unfolds for you. And I had a thing happen the other day. I'd kind of mentioned it earlier in a note that I'd made in the chat here. There was something that Steve showed me. He went back when he was in the oil trading room and years ago, and it's something that I'd been doing some work on the SST, and I'm going to share this with you, Steve, when we get off, because I don't want to start up another big topic or anything. But I'm going to share it with Steve, and he can share it with you guys in the room tomorrow. I think it's something you guys will like. But Steve is, you know, he keeps saying he's a hard worker, but you don't need to tell me that, Steve. I've seen you just do amazing things with your attention and your focus. And part of the reason that Steve brought it up in the beginning was that Steve not only works hard at things, but he's an educator. And when you teach, you got to make sure that what you're saying is right. And otherwise, you got a problem with that. So a teacher has a responsibility not just to himself, but to many, many people. And so I really appreciate you in that way, Steve. So with that being said, thanks for coming in today, guys, for our webinar. And thank you, Steve, for putting it on. And look forward to seeing you guys in the Stock Index Trading Room, stockindextradingroom.com. Yeah, stockindextradingroom.com, stockindextradingroom.com. Look forward to seeing you in there. And thanks again to everybody for taking the time in their day to come out and see a little bit about what we do. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Dave, thank you very much. Visit our website. We're done.